Hello everybody, how are you today? Today we are going to be looking at how I put together and make my laminated notebooks. Now I'm hoping there isn't too much glare on here for you, but these are made using the brand new Lavinia Stamps collection, Dream Witch collection, and I think they are absolutely gorgeous. So I went ahead and I made this one yesterday. It has a matching page marker which I've stamped and decorated on both sides. Inside there is a pocket which I've also decorated for this one, and these hold these little notebooks that I just grabbed off of Amazon. I will link them below in the description box for you, so if you want to go ahead and make one of these notebook covers you can do so. And these measurements that I'm going to give today fit these notebooks. So that's that one. This one I've also popped some foil in onto, which makes it get a little bit of a sparkle. That's that one. This one I did a couple of weeks ago, and this one I've just used distress inks and sprays to decorate the background, and a couple of the Lavinia fairies. And then I add the matching dangle, which I make myself, just a couple of beads and a charm. And one of these which has totally gone out of my head and I can't remember what they're called. So there we go. So for today's project you are going to need a piece of card that measures 20 centimeters across and 14 centimeters down. You're going to score it in the middle at 4 inches, then at 4.5 inches, and then at 3 3/4 inches. Okay, and when you fold it, you're only going to fold the 2 outside score lines. You will be adding holes, but we'll do this after it's been laminated. So that will be your blank piece of card that you would go ahead and decorate. When it's folded, it looks like this. Your page marker measurements, 3.5 centimeters by 12 centimeters. And your pocket measurement, I've already decorated this one for today's project, but you would cut 11 centimeters by 8.5 centimeters, and you would score on the 2 short sides and 1 long side approximately 1 centimeter. These will make your folds like this. Okay, that's your measurements. Let's pop those to one side. You're also going to need some elastic to make the closure and to pop inside your little notebook. For your dangles, just some round nose pliers and some other little pliers, some charms and some beads, a little piece of ribbon to pop through your page marker. Now if you don't have the right colour, the easiest thing in the world to do is to use white ribbon, use your distress oxide inks, pop them down onto a piece of acetate or a glass board and just dip them in, and it will colour your white ribbon. So that's how I do that. To make the actual dangle, I got this brilliant little set off Amazon. If I find it again, I will then link that below. But it has, probably for bracelets, which I think it is, little chains in, and these little lobster clasps. Pop that on there so you can see that. And you'll also need one of these pins that you can use for jewellery craft as well. This one, you can get the flathead ones, or you can get these ones with the little hooks on the bottom. Okay, so I'll pop those to one side because we don't need those at the moment. Now I have gone ahead and already decorated the background for my notebook cover. I've done both sides in this case, but what I've done for this one is I've used distress ink sprays, distress oxide sprays, and also the distress mica stain, which I think is absolutely gorgeous. Again, I've done both sides and it gives it such a lovely little shimmer. And I've also popped down a circle mask with distress oxide in mustard seed. I popped in my moon where I want that to go. I've decorated my pocket using the little stamps from Lavinia. These witches are just gorgeous. This is a set of 3, so you get the one with the crook, the one with the broomstick, and the one with the little lantern. I think, if I remember rightly, they're the Covent of the blue moon. Absolutely gorgeous. Then the tree is also from Lavinia. That is the spirit tree. The little bats, which are actually called flittermice, are gorgeous. Mini jinx, and then some little background stamping with some little leaves. So on this one I have just drawn in, using a thin black pen, some little lines and dots to give it a little bit more of a background. And then this one, if you can see it, I've added in some little grasses. So there we go. So what we're going to do is we're going to decorate our cover, and we'll add those in later. So like I mentioned, today I'm going to be using a few of the stamps from the new Lavinia Stamps collection, Dream Witch collection, and they are stunning. So this one is the spirit tree. These are the 3 little witches from Covent of the blue moon. The little bats are called flittermice. I hope I've got that right. We've got the mini jinx, we've got the bubbling cauldron, so you get the little cauldron and the little bubbles, and we've got a couple of the mini leaf stamps. We've got this beautiful little verse that has come out along with the Dream Witch collection, and I'll just read it to you quickly. It says, "It's 3 AM and the moon is bright. 'Tis witching hour on this dark cold night. Cast a spell and feel the power. There's nothing quite like the witching hour." So we'll be using that as well. And we'll also be using this large witch. And I'm really sorry, I can't remember her name at the moment. But I just laminated a piece of white copy paper and I stick my stamps on there because it's easier to get to them. So let's get started. So I know that I want to have my witch in the middle of the moon. And excuse the noise because I didn't get it out. I just need to grab my stamping platform. Well worn, well loved. And we're just going to pop this on here like this. The reason why I've done my backgrounds first as well is, one, because these are done with distress ink sprays. They took overnight to dry, but again, because I have fibromyalgia, I can't sit here for too long, so I thought we'd do that. Quicken things up a little bit. So we're going to grab our witch and she's going to stand right in the centre of that moon. Just pick that up, pop that back down. Maybe I'll pop that there. And for inking, we're going to use Versafine Clair Nocturne. Let's give a nice layer of ink onto our witch. I will find out what her name is for you. Totally just gone out of my head. There we go, a bit of ink. Turn that round and we're going to stamp her down onto here. A little bit of pressure, let the ink soak in. Lift that up carefully. Because this is mica on here, we're going to have a couple of stamping of her because we need that ink to sink in. Let's see. Another one. There we go, hopefully. I've transferred most of that ink, so I'm just going to take this one back off of here and pop it back on my acetate for now. Turn that around. Yep, I think she's pretty cool. So now we're going to add in, let me see, I think we're going to pop the Tree of Spirits in. My last one I did it dead center, but no, I think I'm going to pop it, move that over a bit to the side. Let's have it up here, so just half of that tree. Pick the stamp up, pop some ink on there, probably done the wrong side, yep. Never mind. Pull this down, give it a press. I've done that. Let's wipe that off a bit before I pick it up. I think I'm going to bring one, or the branches maybe, just the branches slightly lower down here. Give that a press. Take this off of here now. Pop that to one side. Okay. Now I'm going to bring the tree back in. I'm just going to use, if I can pick it up, my hands really don't want to work very well today. I'm just going to pop that on the top there. Just ink up these branches again, and using my acrylic block, we're just going to stamp in some more trees around the edge. You see, I'm just holding the tree upside down for this one. I'll do a little bit of secondary stamping as well. I think I'm actually going to bring this all the way across the top. And frame it like that. So I will pop another tree the other side, but we'll just do it slightly lower. So we'll bring this one in down here. And there we go. Pop some more branches in there. Much better. Well, that's the first little bit of stamping done. Pop that back on there for now. I will clean them off later. What next? I think next we're going to pop in the cauldron. But pop that on there. Well, bearing in mind this is the front, so we're not going to see the cauldron on the front unless we pop it by her dress. So I think I am actually just going to pop that down by the bottom of her dress, like that. And then a little mini jinx. And came up. He's such a cute little cat, he really is. I'm just going to have him standing behind her. There we go. Now we need the bubbles for the cauldron. I love these bubbles. We can use them for so many different things. I'll pop those on there. I'm just going to have a few bubbles on this one coming out the top of our cauldron. Just do them to the sides, and then just some up here, just so it's bubbling up and bubbling over slightly to the sides. There we are, she's mixing up her magic potion. Not the bubbles. Oh, and then we have these absolute gorgeous little bats, which aren't bat, well they are bats, but they're called flittermice, and they are gorgeous. So we're going to pop a couple of these hanging from the trees. I think we'll have one hanging from behind her this time. We'll have one here. And these come in a set of 3, and they come in 3 sizes. So this is actually the small one. I'm going to pop the small ones to the sides. Like that. Pull that ink off of there. And then this is the medium sized one. Heat that up. Yeah, let's just have him here. And then there is the large one as well. Little flittermice. There we go. We've got the lovely little bats hanging from the trees. Now I want to add in a little bit of foliage, so I'm going to use this one here. This is just one of the small leaves, minis. Trying to think, I think I might do these in, let me think, I know. We'll grab the Versafine Clair Fallen Leaves for this one. I'm going to pop in some foliage around and about. Peeping out from behind the trees. Peeping out from behind the cauldron and from behind her. And a little bit behind Jinx there. A bit of second, there we go. I'll pop some across the bottom now. There we are. And then I might actually add in another colour. So we're going to use Versafine Clair Chianti. And just pop some of those across the bottom as well. Vary the height a little bit, just to give it a little bit more depth. Okay, happy with that. Pop the lids back on that one. And that one for the moment. Right, I also want to add in, these are mini leaves. It's either set 1 or set 2, but we're going to add some of those in. And we will use, let's try Fallen Leaves for this. We'll do a couple of different colours. Absolutely gorgeous little stamps. And I'm just going to pop a few of these hanging off the trees. Oh, there's my scoreboard. Pop that over there. Okay. Pop them around the edge. Wherever you want them, really. Okay. Let's give that a little bit of a clean, because I think I've made a bit of a mess with that ink. That was quite a juicy ink. And we're going to go back in with the Chianti. that up gently this time, Karen. And we'll just pop some of these in. There we go. Gives it that nice little bit of an autumnal feel. More this side. Okay. Pop the lid back on that one. Right. And there we have that. Let's wipe that stamp again. So you can see we're building up a picture. We still need to add in some highlights and some sparkle, but it's coming along. So when you fold it, you'll have this on the front and this on the back. And what I am going to do, because I do like my little creases here to stand out slightly, so we've just got some, what's that, scorched timber. Pop a little bit on the brush. I'm just going to fold that over and just ink along those edges like that, and then fold that side in. Like that. And that one. And then you can go around the edges a little bit if you wish as well. And down the bottom. Okay. And using a smaller detailing brush, I'm just going to pick up some of that ink on there. I'm going to pop a little bit of shadow in underneath a lovely little witch and our cat, and under our cauldron, and then also under all this foliage. Just to ground everything a little bit. Maybe a little bit more down here. And this tree here. I'm just going to bring that down a little bit. There we go. Okay. Pop that to one side. Let's have a look. So let's colour in some of these bubbles. Now, what colour would I like my bubbles? Let's go with yellow. So it's got a little yellow chalk pen here. I'm just going to go over some of the bubbles. And she's mixing up her magic potion. Pop little eyes in on a little flittermice. Okay. And then I'm going to grab, this is just a white jelly roll pen. I should do it on my hand, which I shouldn't. And we're just going to add in a little bit of highlights. Around her body and around her hat. And then I'm thinking, I've done this on. And pop some, oh, I love her sleeves. Pop some down there. I think I might just pop a little belt in on this one for her, just a little bit. And pop some of them creases hanging down. And the same for the bottom, down the bottom of her skirt down here. Okay. And around the little flittermice. Highlight their wings a little bit. There we go. Okay, and then on the cauldron, a little bit of highlights on the cauldron. And then not forgetting our little mini jinx. Okay, so that's coming along. Let's add a little bit of foil in now. So I'm just going to grab my quickie glue pen, and I think on this one we're just going to add some little dots into the bubbles. And possibly, I'm thinking, sorry, I have to stop and think sometimes, or a lot of the time, yeah, and we'll just add some dots into the foliage here, because we're going to add some foil to those as well. I'm also conscious of the time here. Obviously I don't want the video to be too long for you, but you can go ahead and decorate yours any way that you want. So I'm just going to heat that. There we go, just so they become clear, and then we can get some foils. I've got this gorgeous orange one here, and I'm literally just going to pop that over the top of these ones. Trying to see if I've missed any, which I probably have. And then for the bubbles in the cauldron, I think I'm going to go this purple one. We'll just pop that on top. There we are. Okay. Because it's going through the laminator, I mean, normally I would probably add stickles, but because it's going through the laminator, if you add stickles, then pop it through the laminator, it totally loses that sparkle. But the foils, they do stay, so that's all good. So I think we're going to leave the outside at that. No, we're not. We've got one more stamp. I want to add the verse. Let's make sure I've got that up the right way. That way. And then I'm going to add this in Versafine Clair Twilight. Let's ink that up. And we're just going to randomly stamp this into our, or onto our background. And some over the moon, and maybe a little bit more down here. There we go. Perfect. So that is your outside of your cover done. Now if you want to go ahead and stamp the inside of your cover, you can. I'm not actually going to do that today, so we're just going to tidy this up, move those inks out of the way. Let's move my stamps out of the way. And I'm actually going to add a little bit of gold to this, if I can remember where I put my gold ink, which I can't. It has to be somewhere, right? Always got to be somewhere. I honestly don't know what I've done with that. Oh wow, Karen, that's a total brain block, isn't it? Because I don't know what I've done with it. Okay, so I don't know where my gold ink is, so I'm just going to grab some metallic gold paint and a little paintbrush. I'll just wet that up with a little bit of water. I don't know which gold I want really. I'll go with this one. Yeah, I'm just going to splatter some gold on top. Maybe a little bit of silver as well. There we go. I think that's enough. Time to stop, Karen. Okay, so I'll just give that a bit of a dry off. Make sure that paint or ink is dry before we pop this through the laminator. And there we are. Okay, so let's flip this piece of card over. And then the next thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to grab my laminator, pop that there and turn that on. And I'm going to grab a laminating sheet. So this is just an A4 glossy one. Okay. And we're going to open this up. And we're going to pop our cover inside. Like that. And I'm hoping this isn't going to wrinkle when I pop it through. We're also going to pop through our, see, I get lost for words, totally lost with what I'm doing. I'm actually trying to find now, oh, I don't know what I've done with that either. Really not having a good day today, am I? I'm looking for the pocket and I'm looking for the page marker, and I honestly don't know what I've done with those either. Really am having a bad day. Not there. Oh, found them. They were hiding. Forgive me. I'm also going to pop through my little page marker as well, which obviously I decorated previously. I'll pop that inside here. I'll try and get it not too close. I want to be able to cut them around them. I don't laminate the pocket. You can if you want to, just something that I don't do. Okay, so that is ready now. I'll pick this up very carefully and hope that this now goes through without any problems. Pop that in there. Feed that in. I'll just hold it up to try and keep it straight. Actually got this laminator off of Amazon as well, so I will link this down below. It came with a little corner cutter and it has a little trimmer on top. And I think for me this is just perfect. So I'm just going to turn that as it's going through so I can hold both sides. Nearly done. Okay, coming out the other side. I do like to run mine through a couple of times, but I will trim it down before I do that. There we go, so it started to wrinkle just a little bit there. Move that out of the way. I'm just going to grab my paper trimmer and we're going to trim this off. So when you're trimming, just you can see this on the camera at all, there is a little air pocket around the side. Don't cut into that, but you can sort of cut maybe about 1/8 of an inch outside of that air pocket. So excuse me if my head's in the way. I like this paper trimmer because I use the little line or the groove to see where I'm going to cut it and line it up. Can we do that on all 4 sides? Might not have to do it on that side. No, we'll just do it on 3 sides. That one, and then we'll just trim down. Obviously you can put more page markers in if you want to do, or put something else into your laminating sheet at the same time. Save wasting. Right, trim that, and then the last side. Trim that down. Okay. Let's get rid of these scraps. And there we go. So you have your laminated notebook cover and your laminated page marker. Now the next thing, I will just use a little corner punch, one that came with the laminator, and I'm just going to round off these corners because laminate can actually be quite sharp. You could have also rounded off the corners on your notebook and your page marker before you laminated as well. Again, that's just preference, whatever you want to do. Okay, so that's that. And you have your page marker and your notebook cover. I'm going to turn this off. Actually, I won't run it through again now. I'll pop that to one side. So your next step is to pop your little holes in. So I'm using my crocodile. I'm using the smaller hole, which I think, I can't remember that either. Gosh, Karen, I think that was 6mm. So we're just going to pop 2 holes, and you're going to pop them either side of your center line. So we're going to have one there, and then flip it round and do the other side. Okay, like that. And the center line, before we do that, let's just put one in the top of our bookmark as well. There we go. Okay, now your center line, or your center hole, I don't have anything or a punch that's long enough to reach that. So what I would do is just grab something like this, or a long needle. I've got a long needle there as well, and we'll just make a little hole in the center, but I'll do it from the outside going in. So on the center line, in roughly the middle of your mark, pop a little hole in and push that through like that, and give it a little bit of a wiggle there. So that's your center hole. And then the next thing you are going to need is your elastic. So we're going to grab some elastic, and we're going to pop the elastic in for your middle pages. I don't cut mine until it's gone through. So what you're going to do is you're going to go at the bottom, come up through from the outside to the inside, pull it up, back down through that hole, then back up into that hole, a little bit of a pull. You want that to be hanging just a little bit off, and then you're going to cut it off. You want just enough to be able to thread it back through and tie a knot. So I'm just going to pop this end back through here, pull it taut, and then just a double knot. You don't want it too tight, but you want it tight enough to be able to hold onto your notebooks. There we go. Okay, I'll cut those off. And then you're just going to fold your notebook. You probably should have done this before you did your elastic, but it really doesn't matter, on those 2 outside score lines. There we are. Then you're going to need your centre elastic. Oh, I did have a piece cut here. And the way I measured that is I would take the elastic, I'd take it across and probably hold it about 1 centimetre, and then a little bit longer, just so you've got enough to tie it off. So we're going to tie these 2 ends together. This might be a little bit too difficult for my hands at the moment, but we will try, so bear with me. Okay, just about, and pull that knot up high. Don't tighten it too much at the moment, because you want to make sure that it's going to go through. So squeeze the folded over bit. I know what I was going to do. I'm just going to grab a pair of tweezers and make that hole slightly bigger. So just pop that in and give it a little bit of a twist. Now hopefully I should be able to get that through. So we're just going to pop that through from the, spoke too soon, from the inside to the outside. Let's use those tweezers to give that a bit of a push. Oh, you're probably all screaming at me, Karen, there's an easier way to do it. But there we go. Pull that through. And then just make sure that it fits around your notebook. Okay, that's done. Then you can pull it back a little bit and tighten up that knot and just trim off your ends. Okay, and then the last thing you're going to do on your notebook is to add your pocket. So decorated pocket. You've measured it, you've decorated it. Snip off the 2 bottom corners. And we're just going to fold those up and in. And I'm going to pop a little bit of double-sided tape onto here. I like to do this before I cut it, because I'm going to cut it diagonally. I just find it easier. So some double-sided tape down there. And down this side. And then just across the bottom. Okay. Then with the larger pair of scissors, we're just going to cut our angle. So this is going to go on the inside of the cover. Probably going to lose a little bit of that batt, but we will see. And we're just going to cut it across like that. Take off your tape. As I said before, if you want to laminate your pocket, you can. I just, out of preference, I don't. Okay, I'm just going to line this up onto the bottom and pop that on there like that. And give that a good press. You can use your bone folder just to go on the inside and burnish that down a little bit. Make sure you've got a good connection. There we are. There we are. Oh, there you have it. The last little thing we're going to do is add our little ribbon for the page marker. And pop that through the hole. My hands really don't want to work now. They've started to become quite painful, but we are going to finish this project off. So pop that through there and then pop your ends through the loop and give it a nice little pull, and then just trim down the ends of your ribbon. Okay, and there's your page marker, and that will sit inside your notebooks. Pop that over and give that a close up. That can sit in there. Then of course you're just going to add your dangle to hang on to the outside. Let's see if I can show you quickly if my hands want to work. So we're going to grab our pin, the little hook at the bottom, and we're going to start adding 4 beads. Let's go purple, blue, black and yellow. Then you're going to take your needle nose pliers, and right up to that last bead you're going to bend it to the side. Okay, then again with the needle nose pliers at the end, if I can get it on there, you're just going to twist it all the way back in until it's closed. There we go. Might need to straighten that up a little bit. I am quite cack-handed when it comes to doing things like this, but that's fine. Okay, so you've got that, and that's your beads, your chain, and your little lobster claw. And we're just going to change the other pliers now. I'm going to open that up. Pop that through and then add one end of the chain and close that up again. Oops. I didn't get a tassel out, but it doesn't really matter. You would then pop a one of your jump rings and add a tassel, and then I'm just going to add, so on this one I'm going to pop a little star charm, and on the loop that you made we're just going to pop that on there and add that to the bottom of our chain like so. Okay, I'll take that out. If you bear with me for 1 second, I will go and grab a tassel quickly. And I will add that and show you. Let's just grab a tassel out of this box. See what we've got. Now, because my chain and everything is silver, I do want to go with a silver tassel, silver ended tassel. Just deciding what colour to use. Oh, I like the green. I don't have any yellow, I don't think. Do I have that mustard yellow? I don't know, maybe we'll go with the mustard yellow for this one. Pop that to one side. And we'll just add our tassel onto here. And then we're done. So let's pop that, oops, up there. And you can grab your little lobster claw here, and that is going to go through the top elastic. Then obviously you pop your little notebooks inside, and there you go. You have your lovely little notebook page marker with an added dangle. I hope you've enjoyed that. If you like what you see, and I apologise for this video because obviously my mind hasn't particularly been there today, but we got there in the end. So yeah, if you like what you see, please remember to like and subscribe, and I will see you all in the next video. Have a good day. Happy crafting.